Good morning, friends. Welcome back. I am Corinne, and on this channel, we like to explore a cozy and creative life. I'm so glad you're here. So today, I woke up and just felt like let's spend a day together. First things first, I need to get some chili in the crock pot. And then I have my writers and makers group that I'm going to facilitate. And then the rest of the day, my intention is to be cozy, to really go analog, and just have a quiet, peaceful afternoon. I hope you'll join me. I already did the ground beef up. It was a lot louder than I thought it would be, so that's all done and ready. I'm just gonna chop up some peppers, throw in some tomato sauce and diced tomatoes and some spices. This is my super simple IBS friendly chili. I will put the recipe below. I've made it before with you all, but it's definitely a go-to in the winter. So I wanted to talk a little bit about this trend towards analog that we're seeing all over the place, and I really love it. I think it's great to spend less time on our devices, and I think it's more about just finding that balance, right? We just finished watching the latest season of All Creatures Great and Small, and this latest season takes place at the end of World War II. And it really struck me watching them find out about the news via the radio, finding out about the end of the war, just that how it's not as, or it wasn't as immediate as what we experience now. And I think there's something really fantastic about being connected to people in real time when real events, like when big events are happening. I think it brings us closer together, and it makes the world feel a little smaller, and it has an opportunity to bring out our humanity a little bit more. What I think a lot of people think, is the speed at which we are, the way that we're inundated, how quick reels are on Instagram or shorts here, or just the speed at which the social media apps, where a lot of us find our information, even from news sources, it's so much that has an opportunity to desensitize us. So I think that's my 2 cents on maybe why a move towards analog is helpful, to kind of bring us back to a pace where we can recognize our humanity and the humanity of others, which is much, much needed. I actually find politics very interesting. My college major is in political science, but current politics I find very challenging to understand and fathom, because what some people call politics, some people call humanity. There's a lot of humanity lacking, in my opinion, in politics. So I know you did not come here for any kind of content like that. But I think it all has to, like, everything is interconnected. And my politics are based on humanity, my personal politics. If anyone ever questioned or had any like, if you're ever wavering on where I stand on things, it's with my stand is always with the oppressed, with humanness, humanity, with human rights. So it was really, I was grateful for the opportunity to know what was going on in Minnesota this past weekend in a very immediate way, so that we could kind of understand, see with our own eyes what was happening, and feel that call to make the phone calls that we needed to make to give support to those who needed support. And now I think we need a little bit of a collective rest. Of course, keep fighting the good fights, but we need some moments of pause intermixed with it all. So I think I want this video in this afternoon to serve as that rest, to give you that permission to find some moments of peace for yourself, because that's needed. That connects you with your humanity, and then if you honor that in yourself, what you need, you can see that in others too. I don't know. That's it for that. All my peppers are chopped, and you're probably like, oh, thank goodness. So I'm gonna get the rest of this chili put together, make up some tea for myself, and then head into the office. So I'll probably show you some of the things that I'm working on as I'm working on them. I don't think I'll talk through it, but I'll meet you after that segment on the other side, okay?
Free flowing, sailing with the wind, not knowing how this story ends.
Don't mind the mess behind me. We'll just focus elsewhere. You all know I pull a card every morning, and this morning I pulled the Temperance card. Darcy's trying to paw her way into my affection right now. You can see. Hello. And I wanted to read this to you because I thought it was appropriate for us. The Temperance card asks you to be a moderator, much like the heron. Focus on cooperation and compromise. If you've been excessive in one aspect of your life, practice self-restraint and moderation now. You'll find a new sense of healing and balance from bringing a little harmony back into your life. So maybe that's what going analog is going to bring us today.
Grounded, steady, earth between your toes, arms wide, ready, love is true, you know.
That session is all over, and it was lovely to sit and create in the company of some really remarkable women and makers and writers. And I want to show you what I worked on, because I worked on my novel a little bit. I took some notes and got into it. I touched it, which is what I wanted to do today. I wanted to touch the work. But then I got into some junk journaling. Do you want to see what I made? All right, I worked on this spread, which is sunshine and warmth for cold winter days. And I just put things that reminded me of warmth and happiness. So it's just some little bits and bobs that I had in my stash of junk for junk journaling. It's not junk, but just little pieces and things. So this is a card that Paige wrote to me for my birthday, and she put songs that make her think of me. And I love that Lisa Loeb are the first two songs. Fantastic. And then yeah, just a poem from someone else, just little bits. And yeah, it just made me so happy to put that together. All right, I am really hungry. It's just about lunchtime. So I get into the fridge. Last night for dinner, we made pancakes, and I made the whole batch like I normally do. But sometimes I forget that Finn is not here. So we have a lot of extra pancakes, and I'm gonna have pancakes for lunch because that sounds really warm and cozy and delicious.
Change is constant, learning to flow. All the unknown, lemons thrown. May look different from what you've dreamed. Colors and contrast making it art. What if happy can be built? Tuning into all that's good. Lucky I learned.
Earlier this week, we did a little bit of rearranging. Paige, last weekend, reorganized her whole room, and she decided that she wasn't going to use a bookshelf. So we brought that down into the fireplace room, and we're using it to put, like, my purse has a cubby, Paige's purse has a cubby, like library books and puzzles. So let me show you what it looks like, and then I'll show you something fun we grabbed. So we put it underneath the TV, and we moved the shoe thing around, and so it honestly brightens up and opens up the room in a really nice, comfortable, flowy kind of way. So yesterday we stopped by a thrift store and found this cute winter puzzle, and it says all here, question mark. We don't know if all the pieces are here or not, but we'll give it a try. We lucked out with the Snoopy puzzle. All 500 pieces were there. We did that one over the weekend too, and it turned out really sweetly. So I think we're gonna put that one away and get this one out to get started with.
Can do. Lucky they led me here with you. Lucky. Ain't it funny? Thought I was lacking. Then I realized all is within. All your thoughts.
So I'm just sorting the pieces, and I used to never do this. I mean, there's so many ways you can build a puzzle, right? And now I just really like going through and picking out the edge pieces, sorting them out, seeing the different colors, and it's an opportunity to slow down because I find myself wanting to like rush through things in lots and lots of different ways. Or I have, and I've made a big effort the last year or two to just slow down and to release that sense of like urgency. No one says you have to build a puzzle quickly. There's no race to see who can get it done the fastest. The whole point is to slow down and enjoy what you're doing. So that's what I'm doing this afternoon.
Courage to change the things I can't. Wisdom to know the difference. May I have peace to accept what I can't change. Courage to change the things I can't. Wisdom to know the difference.
Cheers to us today for showing up for ourselves in little and big ways. I'm drinking some blueberry kombucha. Paige and I had to make a quick trip out to the grocery store to get greens for her bunnies, and I didn't bring you along. It was super quick, but we picked up some kombucha to split between the two of us. I haven't had it for a long time. I used to make my own like years and years and years ago, and I loved it. I loved having it around. The homemade stuff was really good for my stomach. And I just really loved the process. When we moved here, I tried to get one going again, or to get the SCOBY going again, and it just, I don't know if it was the timing of it, if it was, I don't know what was going on, but I had a really hard time getting it happening here. So it might be something to try again. I really love blueberry flavored things, and so this one is hitting the spot. I've been trying to avoid Diet Coke for the last week and a half, 2 weeks, and I'll just say it's a good thing to do, but I miss having something fizzy in the afternoon, so this is doing it for me today. So you saw Darcy and I were out in the snow for a little bit. It's still very, very cold. We got a good foot of snow with the last storm, and it's really soft and fluffy, which is lovely. I have not been able to go on walks recently. I've had some issue with my sciatica, and so I also did some exercise and stretches for the piriformis and sciatica, whatever, that I didn't film because you don't need to see that. But with the snow as deep as it is, I would need snowshoes, and the act of like trudging through is just not good for my body right now. So it was nice to spend a little bit of time with her outside, just out back, and we stayed out for a little bit longer than I filmed, and she was just running around and, you know, going back and forth, and it was fun to see her doing zoomies out in the snow. What else is going on? So I got the puzzle pieces sorted, and I was thinking about this when I was driving with Paige, and what I'm doing today feels like strewing, which we used to do for the kids. It was a big term when my kids were little in the homeschooling groups, where you'd strew things like different books for them to look at, different activities, and just have them kind of out, so that if a kid walked by and was like, oh, that's really interesting, then they could just pick it up and sort through or read through the book or whatever. It was just kind of a fun activity to get them involved in different things than the usual. And I remember doing it often when we would like take a break from screens, which feels appropriate for right now as adults. So I know starting next week, which is February, how did we get there? In February, I have kind of a busy work month. I'm starting to work with someone on their manuscript, which is really excited. It's exciting, and I'm excited for it, but it's a bigger project than I've taken on in a long time. So So I know I'm going to be busy with that. I'm going to be busy writing my own. I'm going to be busy with you all and filming. And so what I'm doing is setting up little stations around the house where we can just drop in and relax and have that chill analog time. And so with the puzzle, with Finn not being here, we're not really using the dining room table to eat our dinners. We're sitting up at the counter, which works for the three of us. It's just kind of our flow now. So it's nice to have a puzzle out all the time to be able to work on here and there, and think I'm really enjoying it. I know Paige is, Lucas not so much, but maybe this weekend he'll get into it. So there's that. I have word searches forever. Like, that's what I gave everyone, word searches for Christmas this year. And I love it. Like, I love it so much. I'm not even doing my regular New York Times puzzles on my phone. Like, doing puzzles on my phone now it's not hitting the spot at all. But this, I tell you, this is really, I like the cover. This is the one I got Lucas, where it's nice. There's lots of puzzles, but I really like the spiral bound, which is kind of cool. And yeah, so I'm really loving having that around. So these are out all the time. And I find that when I'm really anxious, if I pick one of those up and just focus on that, it's like I can feel my body relaxing as soon as I find a word or two, and things just quiet. It's like knitting in some ways. My knitting is always ready to go. And then I have books, of course. Books are all around. And for this month, what's been really nice is I'll sit down in the afternoon and grab a stack of books, because some of these are books that can't be read all at once. Like, I'm working through John O'Donohue's Anam Cara, and so I'll read a couple pages of this. I'll read a couple pages of Living a Quiet Life by Vanessa Marie Dewsbury. This is really sweet. And it's like each page has a topic. And so it's like, it's easy to read a page or two, like recenter, and then move forward. And then I have a novel that I worked through. I just finished On the Calculation of Volume. I really liked it, but I don't want to say too much because, again, we're talking about that in the Patreon book club, and that'll be our February discussion. But I enjoyed it, and I already want to pick up the next one. So I finished that, and I've been reading The Wedding People. It was one that I walked into the library for something else last week or the week before, and this was on the shelf, and I found Jojo Moyes' We All Live Here. And I'm a huge Jojo Moyes fan, although I hadn't read this We All Live Here and the one before. But I really enjoy her writing, so it was nice. I read that one too. But this one, I'm not sure about yet. The writing is beautiful, but there's a lot of tension, and I'm curious to find out how it all turns out. So yeah. So it's nice to be able to pick up a stack of books and just kind of dig in. I don't spend a ton of time each afternoon reading. It all depends on what we've got going on. But again, that strewing thing, like, I know these are here. I can pick up one, I can pick up all three, and spend a couple minutes and kind of dip into that part of my brain, my creativity, that coziness of just being held by a story is really nice. When Paige and I stopped the other day at the thrift store where we got the puzzle, they also had I found some really great finds. Their paperbacks, or You can tell it's the afternoon. I get really sleepy in the afternoon, and I've been outside and now with the fire, I'm like, oh, I could curl up and take a nap. Maybe I will. They're hardback books are $1 each at this place. And I saw these, I was like, I have to steal these. Claire Keegan's Foster and Small Things Like These. I borrowed these from a friend the first time that I read them, and I loved them. I loved them. And I knew at some point I would want copies for myself, so these had to come home with me. If you haven't read Small Things Like These, it's a beautiful story, and also the movie that has Cillian Murphy in it is stunning. Lucas and I watched it. We watched it at some point in the last few months, and he didn't read the book, but I know he enjoyed the movie, and it was one of those that just, it felt like the movie hit the same tones as the book, which doesn't always happen. But I really enjoyed Foster as well. I thought it was a great read, and her writing is absolutely stunning. And then the other one that I found that I haven't read, that it has been on my list since it came out, is Demon Copperhead by Barbara Kingsolver. So, I mean, for $1, it had to come home. I remember hearing really good things about this when it came out, and her writing is always phenomenal, so I'm excited to give this one a try. Those are some ways that I am slowing my brain down, really slowing my brain down, getting off my phone, remembering that there's a whole lot more peace in these physical activities, the physical activity of reading, like of holding a book, even a Kindle. And that's where it's like, technology is really fantastic. It's fantastic. It's connecting me to you right now. These are great things about technology. I was doing the exercises I found to do were on YouTube, and so I put that on, and that connected me to healing in a way, you know, like the Kindles are a great way to read, especially if you have trouble with your hands and you have trouble holding things. Like, technology is fantastic, and I think it's, again, just about that balance. And again, I really think that we need reminders to connect with ourselves. And sometimes it's really hard to do that when we have all of the noise of all of the places, all of the news, all of the social media things, like all of it coming at us. It's really challenging. So to have places available for pockets of your day, even 5 minutes sitting with a puzzle, with a word search, with a book. I know we're all busy. I know it. We're all so busy. But there's room. Just a couple moments. We all deserve it. We all deserve that peace and rest, and we will be able to reach each other in a more heart-centered way when we find that for ourselves. So I'm just at this section called Craving Solitude in Living a Quiet Life, Reflections for Peace, Purpose, and Personal Growth. And this section I wanted to read because it speaks to what we've been talking about today. There's magic in it. There's freedom. Solitude for us isn't an escape from life. It's a way we return to life feeling more grounded, present, and in tune with our truth. In these still spaces, we learn to befriend ourselves and offer love to the parts of ourselves we may have forgotten. Isn't that lovely? All right, friends, I think that's going to be it for me today. Chili is all set, so we're going to have chili for dinner, a quiet rest of the afternoon, reading, and snuggling a puppy. And yeah, thanks for being here. Thanks especially to those of you who are new. Welcome. I hope you feel that you are welcome here. And yeah, if you haven't already, I'd love for you to subscribe. That definitely helps the channel's growth and it helps encourage me. And let me know in the comments what your favorite ways to go analog are. What are your favorite quiet, screen-free activities? Maybe there's something that we haven't thought of or someone hasn't thought of, and so we can get some ideas from the comments. I'm so grateful for you, so grateful that you're here. Until next time, be well, stay cozy, and I will see you very, very soon.